Hello everybody, my name is SelvsLeaderCarson here. I'm going to be doing a finally, I said I would do this a long time ago, but I'm going to do it now. I'm going to be doing a reaction video to this specific topic. Now, a guy by the name of Zaki Chan has asked me as a aspiring teacher to react to this specific video. Now, I've already told him ahead of time that, like in the Q&A, that I'm only going to be able to react to I guess you could say specific parts. Like, I'll be cutting out this, like, what I feel like will be the big major topics as a fellow aspiring teacher. And I just hit my microphone. All right. So let's take a look at this now. All right, let's do this now. All right. TEDx University of Akron. Everyone is a genius. Yay! Well, I'm a genius then.
Everyone is a genius.
Yeah.
But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing it's stupid.
Well,
there I was working
true.
with student Natalie on solving equations. She had to multiply 2 times 9 and got stuck. Yet, if we disaggregate our results by district poverty level and compare the U.S. districts to those top countries by poverty rates, it is clear that our students are at the top. But our best students are only a small percentage of the overall population, even in the honors classes. And then what about the Natalies? I specialize in teaching algebra to the bottom 25% of high school students, and I work mostly with those students. Now, the best of those students want to do well, but when they realize what they're capable of, they're either stuck in a path of academic mediocrity, or they are so close to graduation they just need a credit to pass. It's almost like a scene of wasted potential. Now, the worst of those students have had no education of character, common decency, appropriate language, appropriate behavior. They barely know right from wrong. These are the students who are at risk of dropping out, incarceration, or abusing social welfare. Now, what's out there waiting for those students? Jobs? College? They're in an education system that says if you don't go to college, you have no worth. So their only alternative is to be underemployed, to find illegal work, or to abuse social welfare.
I know. And
those students are marginalized by what I call a toxic culture of education.
That is actually
It doesn't matter if a student is a gifted
100%.
artist, a loving caretaker, talented musician, or poetic writer. Those students are the fish being judged on how they climb trees because we say the end-all, be-all is college, or we're leaving students to the lowest skill level work.
Now you can hear me at least.
In the honors classes, these students are so wrapped up about grades and answers, they're afraid to learn. And that's impacting how they're performing at college. But I am not here to talk about the current student loan debt crisis. This is about something much bigger than the students.
It should be always about the students and making it bigger. If you can make it bigger with the students, then you've accomplished something, I say.
I focus on Syndrome from The Incredibles. The supervillain's plan is to unleash a doom onto the world that only the supervillain can stop, thus gaining all the desired power. Now, this is exactly
Which is very weird that it almost worked.
In the 1980s and before, and then culminated in No Child Left Behind.
That was a failed program.
Private education companies realized they could use public education, a multi-billion-dollar industry, to create a nearly endless stream of taxpayer money. They channeled millions of dollars into lobbying efforts and focused on 2 words, rigor and accountability, and put everything into place.
It was a failed program. No Child Left Behind was a failed program.
Rules were enforced, and then finally, No Child Left Behind became the national standard. Don't get me wrong about politics. These efforts were underway long before they were passed, so both parties get to take full credit for their disastrous results, especially with Race to the Top.
Exactly. I agree with this guy. Both parties need to take something like that.
Produced the individuals who put a man on the moon with technology less powerful than the phone in my pocket and characterized that education system as a failure. Failing. Guess what we need? New textbooks, new workbooks, new resources,
sound like
new
the
training,
bearer of bad news.
Private schools, charter schools, and who is it?
You sound like really the bearer of bad news.
That all of a sudden we need? Our supervillain, private education companies.
They are supervillains.
A business model in this toxic culture.
They want to make, from what he's saying, it's pretty much saying that they want to make, the private education companies want to make money, profit, off of people's failures, or from what I'm understanding, their failures, and to try and get people to succeed. The good people, not the Katies, or however he pronounced it. The Natalies, sorry, the Natalies.
How can we attach a number to that moment when a third grader finally has the ability to write his own name, who, by the way, has been labeled as a failure for himself, his teacher, and his school?
It's the teacher is to be blamed if he's not teaching them right. He needs to be blamed for what he's doing.
Tests because we eat up the misinformation provided by these companies and
let me just check. Okay, it's been 5
policies
minutes.
using a false validity of their testing results. Our testing culture begins in elementary school.
Very true.
Colleagues of mine work with third graders who suffer from anxiety from high-stakes testing. From a one-day, one-shot, 4-hour computer-based test, the future path of a student is set.
Everybody suffers from anxiety because they don't want to fail. And when you fail, it socially affects you and psychologically affects you.
No matter what the teacher tells the student about how good they are or what talents they have, if the student doesn't score well on that high-stakes test, the third graders know exactly what it means and begin to define themselves.
That is very true.
It's starting to happen now in kindergarten. Private companies like Pearson and McGraw-Hill, who operate off policy and legislation written by nonprofit organizations and lobbying groups like ALEC, the American Legislative Exchange Council, buy the next textbook, buy the next workbook, buy the next digital software package, the next teacher evaluation
These guys
system.
sound like buy, so we can make money.
Algebra 1 textbooks.
It's not, education shouldn't be about making money. It's about helping progress human knowledge.
Makes those. We can place the blame on the schools and on the teachers to continue the cycle. And because
if they continue the cycle, then they should be fired and replaced by better, capable teachers.
And the schools have accepted this accountability for all students, even those students. We take the blame for a student who can't focus in class because she hasn't eaten since yesterday's lunch. We take the blame for a student who's always in trouble in school because he doesn't know the difference between right and wrong. We take the blame for a student who can't stay awake in class because she spends her nights on a different couch, depending on which friend takes her in. And when these students don't score well, it's about to get worse.
Yeah, I know exactly what he's talking about, folks. It makes very sense. I know what it's like. I don't eat half the time. Like, I only eat like maybe once or twice a day, and it affects my brain sometimes. And I'm not able to focus because I want to make sure I have friends that support me and take me in. But it's also that these private business companies and all this other stuff, they'll keep telling you, buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that, buy this. It's not about making money from education. It's not about making a profit, okay? That's very despicable if you think it is. It's about trying to progress human knowledge. The more you progress human knowledge, the more, like, let's say, this is, I don't know if you can say it, this is point A and this is point B. If you can get students from point A to the midpoint or even all the way to the point B, you've already succeeded in educational, progress. On trying to increase human knowledge. That's what I feel like people should be doing, not making profits out of this. If you have to buy an old textbook that was like $20, but it's still useful and it still carries knowledge, buy it. Sorry, got it cut off there. But yeah, like after maybe 15, 20 years, it has to be replaced because it's old, ripped up, and destroyed. Then yeah, I say definitely replace that book, okay? Because we need updated books. Will that hurt the future generation? It might, but the difference is it's the schools and the teachers that should take the blame instead of saying, well, we're not responsible. It's the students' fault. They're not paying attention. Well, why don't you reach out to the students and talk to them? If you can't do that, replace those teachers. And if they throw a hissy fit that they get fired, let them throw a hissy fit. Replace them with capable, honest teachers who actually take their job serious. If you can't take your job serious, then why the hell are you trying to teach? Are you trying to just pay bills? Well, then take your job serious, or else I'll slap you in the face. Like, literally, the world, the parents and the world should slap you in the face and say, wake up, stop acting like a 5-year-old. All right, so let's get back to this. Sorry.
The Common Core will do even more damage because of its emphasis on high-stakes testing matched with its myopic standards that are disguised in critical thinking. We need to start paying attention to our students and who they are. If a student fails Algebra 1 in the 9th grade year, I can tell you, chances are that it's not because it was too hard or they didn't get it. Chances are that it's not because they had a bad teacher or were at a bad school. If a student fails in the 9th grade year, the chances are it's because the student was missing some type of intangible characteristic, a non-cognitive factor that enables them
You say a lot of non-cognitive stuff. But he has to also understand that if a teacher is not actually teaching algebra in 9th grade, then there clearly could be something wrong, even with the school or with the teacher. Or both, for all I know. And if the student is not actually getting it, I think it's the teacher's job to help them get it. And if the teacher refuses, then there is a clear problem with just that program already.
And the schools needs to be shifted to include failing students.
Amen.
And how can we help the students?
Exactly.
How can we help them be better students, better people? How can we help them with these non-cognitive factors like work ethic and character? How can we make sure that they're getting enough sleep, that they're getting enough to eat, that they're showing up for class? It's the public narrative
parents' job
that
must
has to
do
be
it.
shifted. We must
Go to
talk
bed now,
about what
son.
is happening in the lives of our students, even our honor students, because we're simply creating a massive population of future citizens who are afraid to attempt anything challenging, unable to read or think critically, or unable to find
challenge
a way
is
to
what
earn a
makes
meaningful
people
income.
great. If
I'll
you
get to
don't
that in
take
a
the
minute.
challenge, how can you
Right now in
succeed?
this toxic culture,
We
all
take
students
challenges
are
because
forced to
we
study
love to learn.
abstract classes.
Shut up for a minute. Everybody should always take a challenge. That should be always our first goal. We love to take challenges. I don't care who you are. If you don't take the challenge, why do you want to attempt it at all? I like taking challenges. I'm taking an economics class as of this video right now, and a government, and a geography, and a history class. And these are all classes I need because I have to take the challenge and I have to get them done. And once I do it, I succeed and I realize I have done this great challenge that I can't even put into words. I'm just so proud of myself. That's the kind of feeling you need to get when you take something that serious. But let's continue to this.
There's also no room for the arts and for imagination.
There's somebody moving. I thought he was talking to himself.
Public schools, because I don't think anyone profits from those things.
Nobody
does. We have
does.
already felt the impact of our education policies. There are thousands of highly skilled jobs available right now. There is opportunity for small business development and innovation like never before, yet where are the majority of our students and graduates?
Not doing very well, I can say that.
In this economy for our students, but we just don't enable it in the schools because we're so focused on accountability and standardized testing and rigor and college ready.
I think he just put it very clear. We're so focused on trying to be ready for college. We're so ready to trying to graduate high school. Unless for like other places in the world, like I think it's called boarding school. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, people. I think it's called boarding school for sure. Then high school, then college for the UK. Then university is state colleges or university in America or other places. But yeah, we're so focused on those specific things, we forget that we're trying to actually learn it and take it serious, that our anxiety, our stress, our worries, our fears all come together and destroy that eagerness to succeed and to learn and to feel great about it, learning it. We need to feel less stressful about learning all these things. We need to take the stress away from that. The fear and worry will still be there because there's always going to be tests we'll have to fear and worry about. But we need to take away the stress, the anxiety, and when those are gone, there's nothing to really fear about, and there's nothing except for tests and being ready for college. And there's nothing really to worry about what you do. As long as you succeed at what you do, that's what should matter. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Let's continue with this before I lose track of myself.
If we focus our attention on getting students what they need to find their place in this economy, all students, especially those students, would value
the Natalie students,
more highly, use their time more wisely, and make better decisions outside of school.
Yes.
Now, we got to keep the college-bound students going to college. We got to continue that path. However, we need to be more successful and more innovative.
Maybe we should also tell the colleges to pause on that. Maybe we should also tell the colleges to stop trying to be swindlers, shysters, and maybe also scam artists by saying, "Oh, we'll give you a loan. Okay, now you got to pay us back 20 times more. I only took out $15,000, so you're saying I have to pay back $300,000? Yep. Good luck with that, buddy." I think you're making a profit just by having 50,000 students. and like let's say 35,000 of them take out like 10 to 15,000 loans, and if you do the math there, and if you're asking them to just pay 20 times more, they're making millions, almost tens of millions of dollars. And I think that's just a ripoff, right? That's swindling people. And I think in due time, it's going to come and bite them back in the butt. Just saying.
Let's teach those students some tangible work skills that can help them in the future, the same way we used to do in the system before it was labeled as a failure.
Like, I think what he's saying is, like, I know I can do a history lesson on this, so bear with me on this. Oh, sorry, indigestion. It's called the industrial colleges and the literature colleges. This was back in the late 1800s and the early 1900s. I learned this in History of African Americans class. I think not George Washington Carver. He's the peanut maker. Time out. We're gonna look this up together. I forgot his name. Industrial colleges. He pops up right there. No! There we go. Okay, we'll just punch in him. And he should have known rivals. Yeah. It's, Webb Du Bois, Booker T. Washington, that was his name. What he produced, and I'm just going to go back to the video, just excuse me. Bang. Okay. Booker T. Washington was a civil rights activist, but he encouraged people to go to industrial colleges to learn industrial things, or even go work in the farms. He was we should obtain rights, but as like a master servant still, but the difference is the master should hire the person not as a slave, but as a servant. That if they look to us as workers and respect us as workers, then we will gain equality in due time, because they will respect us as human beings. Webb Du Bois is like, no. We have to all be equal, which everybody took Webb Du Bois' theory. At that time, in the late 1800s and early 1900s, everybody followed Booker T. Washington's theory because it helped African Americans obtain work. Because the whites went along with this idea, like, hey, if they're willing to see themselves as second-class citizens, we're cool with that. We'll give them work, and they can be considered second-class citizens. We'll be all right with that. Yeah. No, I didn't like that. I mean, it would have worked in that system at the time, and it did probably. And he's encouraging them, don't learn about math, don't learn about science, don't learn about English literature. Learn about how to learn industrial work. Like actual work. Go to these colleges and learn how to work. Then we can fight for our rights in due time. Webb Du Bois said, you need to obtain education in order to become equal with the whites. Both ideas could have worked for all I know. But yeah, like I was saying, it's clear that he's saying we should try and do industrial colleges in a way of saying learn how to do the job, or learn how to do the work. That's what you should be doing. And we should scrap algebra for a while, and if you want to learn it, go learn it. In my opinion, you can help defunct my argument if you want, or break down my argument.
Why not get students out there making a living for themselves, rather than us spending another $10,000 in taxpayer money for another year of school for them to learn how to factor trinomials?
No one's going to know how to use trinomials.
How do we deal with all of these issues on a grand scale?
I don't know.
I believe in Horace Mann's 1850s vision of an education system that can improve mankind. In public education, we've got an amazing opportunity to mold a better tomorrow.
Really?
Yet what we are currently doing is so incredibly toxic. I have two solutions that would be better. The first idea I'm not a big fan of.
What's that?
I don't like it.
All right, here's the first idea, people. I'll tell you. You put Carson in charge of all the educational system, and with his insightful mind, he will become the dictator of education. Yes, I know. Thank you. Thank you. I am the state. No. It's a joke. It's a joke. No, I don't know what his first idea is. Let's learn it.
We could completely defund public education, give back the $750 billion into our pockets. No more taxpayer money going to private companies and nonprofit organizations in the name of public education and on the heads of our public school children. Because let me tell you, that money's not getting to them or to the classrooms, and it's certainly not going to teachers. My second idea, which I am in favor of, is to double down on public education. We've got to eliminate these toxic policies.
First off, I would like to say I'm definitely a fan of the first one, but I could see the issues of what the problem is. I can see the issues to it. I think it would be best that the taxpayer money goes to the families and to the American people's money, the money back into their pockets. The working class and the middle class, they need to go, and the underclass, they need to go back into their pocket. It will raise their social status, and when they have enough, and when they use that money to put it into public education or private schools, if they choose to, remember that, they could use it to go help students to actually not go into student debts or student loans and go into debt, and actually help the schools and give the money to the schools and to, like, let's say sometimes some principals, but mostly to the teachers. The teachers are the ones who deserve the money because they're actually putting in their time to teach thousands, maybe tens of thousands of students. That's what we should be focusing on. And I'm not saying this just to fill my own pocket in the future. No. I'm saying this because the teachers do deserve more money for the hard work they put in. We overlook them. They're like the underdogs, or they are underrated on how much they actually deserved. Now let's read his plan. Let me just step back for a minute. Okay.
Is to double down on public education. We've got to eliminate these toxic policies, eliminate this focus on high-stakes testing, eliminate the corruption in the cash flow. Get the resources more directly to the students. Focus on them, on their abilities, on their non-cognitive factors. Train and allow the teachers to develop relationships with their students. And
we should be doing that more often, but we don't.
Thinking, reasoning, and learning. I believe in the potential greatness of a public education system done right.
We should all be doing that. Teachers should build closer relationships with their student, and not like how, and I'm sorry, I have to stereotype any potential female teachers out in the future. Not a close relationship where you sleep with them, and that includes guys. Don't sleep with your students. That's bad. Very, very bad. But moving on, we need to build closer relationships so they can feel like, so the students can feel like they can trust the teachers, and with the and they can look to the teacher for support. The teacher is the like a philosopher to them, that I'm trying to put this in words, that their philosophy, their ideology, and their hopes of success passes on to them. That's what the teacher should be giving the student, and that's what the student should be learning, so that they can be encouraged, and I'm saying that with swiftness, with honor, with eagerness, to actually learn the subject they are learning. Because once they do, the incapable teachers are going to be pushed to the side. We don't want incapable teachers. That's my request already. Teachers that don't care about the educational system, they don't care about the students, like, push away the incapable teachers. We don't want teachers who don't care about the educational system. They don't care about the, I guess you could say they don't care about the students. They don't care about seeing if they can succeed or not. They're just there to make the money and there to teach students who don't care. If that's the case, you need to get the hell out of the educational system. We don't want you. We want teachers who are capable, eager, and ready to teach hundreds, perhaps even tens of thousands of students. That's the kind of teachers I want. If you're not capable of doing that, why the hell are you teaching? Let's go back to this now. Let's keep hearing his idea. I know I'm saying this with eagerness. This might be a very long video.
My colleagues. But speaking of my colleagues, the public narrative on teachers, thanks to education reformers like Michelle Rhee and Bill Gates, is that our public schools are teeming with horrible teachers. The reality is that most teachers are accomplishing amazing
This guy sounds more like a philosopher than a teacher.
And what they're able to accomplish is being done to spite a professional environment of questioning, belittling, and self-doubt due to accountability measures and evaluation systems we had no stake in even creating. And teaching used to be called the noble profession.
It still is.
So why not make teaching a profession once again? Why not train and allow the teachers to develop their own assessment systems that can better fit their students' needs?
Yes.
Why not encourage teachers to collaborate with one another, or at least have a peer review system like in other professions? Why not involve teachers in the policy-making decisions at the school level, the district level, the state and national level? The truth of education policy is that it is written and enforced by people who have spent either little or no time in the classroom with the students these very policies are affecting. Take a look at the makeup of any boards of education, including local school boards and secretaries of education. Why not involve the individuals in direct contact with the students to help mold and shape the environment of the students?
It could be possible to do that.
Is the only industry, and it's a $750 billion industry,
very true,
that is developing a product without any valid market research.
The product is intelligent students and intelligent people.
Students aren't asked what they want or need. The teachers in the schools aren't asked what would work for their students. The public narrative has to be shifted. The schools and the teachers are not the enemy.
We never are.
Materials, training, resources, vouchers, accountability systems, and the education bureaucracy, because the policy support that.
Sorry, I had to do that.
Follow the money. So we have to fight this toxic culture of education.
Can I raise swords against them?
Narrative away from the curriculum, away from the schools, even away from the teachers. And we have to focus on our students to innovate, not how to take tests. These are human beings.
I agree with him. We need to teach them how to think, how to learn. We need to help human beings become self-aware, to be aware of everything around them. I want to say it's like we need to learn transcendentalism. That's the idea we need to learn. And if you can't learn that, I'm just going to let the 11 seconds roll.
Why not stop judging the fish on how they climb trees?
So that's it, guys. I hope you liked my first reaction on this video. So stay you, stay cool, stay awesome. I'll see you in the next videos. Any more reactions, leave in the comment. Has to be popular things, has to be something I may have considered watching. No music videos unless it has 1 million or 5 million views. Look, I'm okay with looking at music videos or funny songs. It's just that I want music videos to be like in the million topic. It would make no complete sense if you just showed me something that had 100,000 views and people were like, oh yeah, it was pretty cool, but not something that 20 million people will watch. It would be very stupid. So stay you, stay cool, stay awesome. I'll see you guys later.